I'm Andy Scothern. I'm the Managing Director of eCommerceSense. And eCommerceSense is a digital transformation consultancy based in the UK. We help brands translate their businesses online, and that means going multi-channel, omni-channel, whatever you choose to call it. It also includes helping them redesign their supply chain and understand the implications of selling online. We predominantly work in the builders merchant sector and in the building materials industry. We also do work in retail, although the focus is in the building trade. BelVG are building a turnkey e-commerce solution that I've specified, which will enable builders merchants to go online incredibly quickly at a fraction of the cost that has previously cost them. Magento 1 has got a great history in brands. It's been implemented numerous times. It's got great functionality for the money, but it is coming to the end of its lifetime in terms of a product. It's more than 8 years old, so for software that's very old. Magento 2 is the obvious successor to Magento 1. It has got all the benefits of the community and the enterprise platforms, the great name, the functionality, but it will have enhanced security and more functionality redesigned from the ground up. In my view, it's the best value e-commerce platform that's currently out there. We do a lot of work with other platforms with the enterprise level, Hybris, IBM, ATG, but when you look at cost versus functionality, Magento is very, very hard to beat. The costs of getting development done in the UK now are almost prohibitive. So there are some great agencies in the UK, but a lot of those guys also outsource their development to third parties in a lower cost-based country. I've got experience of dealing in countries in America, in Europe, in Eastern Europe, and in India, and there's pros and cons to all of them. BelVG are based in a country which has still got a low cost base, very high education, technical skills, and haven't caught up yet in terms of the pricing of UK agencies. So when it comes to cost benefit, you get a massive amount for your buck here compared to using local agencies. There are cheaper places to go. India, for one. My experience of dealing with Indians typically has been very difficult to deal with unless you have a project manager on the ground, a local person. The language barrier can often be there, and I've often experienced poor quality code. So far, I haven't had that experience with European developers. Belarus and BelVG in particular seem to offer the right blend of cost versus quality. I've already recommended you guys to colleagues of mine and business associates simply because the amount of confidence I've had from coming out here has made me comfortable to do that. I don't mind telling you guys that my initial impressions, you deal with a company you've never met, so you're always taking a risk. The worst case scenario is you go to this far off land and you don't return. It's not likely to happen, but that's the worst case scenario. The next best case is you send a load of money to people you've never met and they do nothing. The next scenario is they're honest, you send them money and they're incompetent and they just do a bad job. My experience so far with BelVG has been I'm not in a cellar being tortured, so that's kind of nice. I sent the money to these guys. They've done a great job. and they're technically competent. So that is everything you would hope for in a technical delivery partner, regardless of where they are. It's a really interesting place to go. This world is changing so fast, and I don't think there's many places in the world where you're going to see the architecture, the culture, the legacy from the old Soviet Empire, and of course you can see the changes in the country. It is modernising, and certain aspects, particularly the younger generation, have already done so. They're Western thinking, their culture is Western. They look to the West for, their music, TV to a degree, but there's still a very proud tradition of their national identity and where they've come from. I just think it's a really interesting place to go at this point in time, and in time there'll be very few places like this on earth.